What is up, everybody, and welcome back again to the ZMAM show. Again, we have Dustin here on the sidelines,
Hey, everybody.
and we are talking Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 4. And again, I don't know, what's up with these titles, man? They just don't want to name the episodes like, ooh, we're going to do
Maybe it'll
something
give
new.
something away. I don't know. Yeah,
I
and
mean,
then even when you air I don't know. The other seasons when they've aired the episode, the name was always there. So
I just named it,
I don't know.
I said, what did I call it? The Last War. That's what I named it,
Oh, yeah.
It seemed just as good as any, I suppose, so... So hopefully we've got a few people starting to come in now, and we got a whole lot of notes to talk through, guys. I mean, it's just I got like 3 full pages. It's just ridiculous. So
Yeah, definitely a lot of character interaction, which was cool.
right.
Kind of what I expected for this episode, but yeah, it was good. Another good episode. So
Absolutely. So, we'll get into scores and whatnot, in a little bit. But obviously, there's a lot of big hits that we want to get to, but I don't want to rush through it all. So let's just start from the beginning of the episode. So we are back with Ed Winterfell, and, he said had some, I guess I want to call beautiful send-offs to our fallen warriors who basically defended Winterfell with their lives, right?
yeah, it was interesting to see the number of people. You when they panned out and you saw all the pyres there and saw the sheer number of people that had died. It kind of gives some weight to it, but I still feel like having some more key characters there that would have died would have really given that scene more weight. Like you saw Jorah, you saw Theon, which those are some key characters. But
I think that's what they wanted to. I think they expected
yeah,
Jorah to have a little bit more punch than maybe what he did. I mean, I was feeling it because I was like, okay, that really sucks, especially for Dany. But after this episode, I mean, we'll get to it. But man, more and more, am I not like I'm going back to what I used to feel for her, which was pretty much, I don't like you. I don't like her style. She's going back to that power hungry craziness. But again, let's not jump the ship too far. I know we got Stacy already talking about Rhaegal. So let's see here. David Nutter is an ace director for character interaction, and agreed. Yeah, Stacy. He. There's a bunch of great interactions going on. So just to get through some of them. Oh, by the way, happy to see Ghost made it, even though we basically haven't seen him do a damn thing. But
yeah, and it seems like John's just kind of disconnected from Ghost.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, what's up, dog? I'm not really with you anymore, but hey, that's cool too. But he made it. Good speech by John, obviously, at the funerals. Gendry and the Hound have a nice little chat, and by nice, I'm being totally sarcastic. I mean, the Hound's
that was pretty funny.
Yeah, no. By the way, the humor's solid. I agree.
I love the Hound's interactions with pretty much anyone because he's always the same. He's always the same. Like he is who he is,
and he stays very consistent with his character, and that's
he
important.
Does. Yeah.
So let me see here. So Gendry runs off to find Arya, pretty much, and then, interesting enough, as he's starting to run off, I thought, it was very odd the way Daenerys called him out, right? So it's like, you're Robert Baratheon's son, pretty much his whole family rooted mine out, and I'm just like, whoa, this is going there.
Pretty ominous thing.
Right, and the tone and like her face and stuff, and then she smacked us with a surprise, and she's like, I don't see why you can't be a lord, and this and that, and I'm like, well, that could have gone differently.
Right, when she's like, who's the lord there now? And everybody's like, I don't know. I'm thinking, what the hell is she getting at here?
Even
like,
Sam's, I think even Bran was over there like, I don't know.
I didn't see that coming.
Let's see here. Jessica.
Yeah,
saying,
cool moment for Gendry for sure.
What's that? It's like he's not a Stark anymore. He's turning that Targaryen blood on. Oh, are you talking about John?
Yeah, I think when we were talking about him and Ghost. Yeah, I agree. I don't know.
I don't know either. But
came back, he just hasn't been the same with Ghost.
And hey, what's up, OG? Hey, welcome back. But I remember you from last week. Thanks for joining back in. How about the interesting move? So even though she hit us with that, okay, she's kind of promoting people around her, and she's still playing the game. As she looks over to Tyrion, she goes, "See, I'm not the only one, who can't basically turn the strings and touch." Yeah. So I'm just like, see, there you go again, doing things instead of being a good queen, you're just doing it just to kind of... I mean, do you think that Gendry really gave two shits one way or the other? He would have been just as happy going back to being a blacksmith and just doing his thing.
Yeah.
But, instead this masquerade. And again, I did like... Oh, when I heard that, I was like, not buying that so much.
Yeah, but I mean, she
Um,
did lock. I feel like she did lock in that allegiance with doing that with him. Now she has. I
yeah.
think she has loyalty from Storm's End.
OG's saying Danny going mad queen on us, and I fully agree. We're gonna get to all that.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is gonna be a long show, guys. I can already tell. Like I said, I got 3 pages of notes here. I want to get through a lot of it. Dustin probably has some stuff too. Um, Stacy's saying true, and now his dragon is toast, so John better be dialing. Oh, good one, Stacy. Oh, that was hot.
Yeah, you better bring Ghost back.
Yeah, 1-800-DIREWOLF. Get it. We get that on speed dial. You know, because isn't there? There's no Arya's is still alive too. She is just nowhere to be found, right?
Amira, yeah, they let it go in the woods, and who knows where she is.
Yeah, and Jessica, I fully agree. I'm not liking her anymore either. I'm afraid she is going to turn. I mean, I fully agree, and I think this is what we're getting set up for, and this is going to be
Yeah.
that bittersweet. I think that's coming our way, and you know, and I got to be honest, guys. For the longest time, I really did not want to see Danny on the throne, and when John came into the picture, I was like, okay, well, maybe they can come together and they can figure this out. But I think I'm going back. I'm going back to I don't want to see her ass on the throne.
Well, I mean, I think that's the with this show, there are a lot of characters that we've seen that like there's an arc where you hate them, then you love them, then you hate them again.
This is
And
true.
I feel like Danny's one of them, and you know, in the beginning, she was just kind of naive, and you felt sorry for her.
Yeah.
And then as she started to really, you know, the power came, and she started to build that relationship with Khal Drogo in the first season. You're like, okay, like I could get behind this. And then as she started to free people to the east, then you're like, all right, yeah, she has great intentions, but it's like this struggle with the power in the end kind of leads you in this one path in one direction.
When she finally broke free from her brother and she finally saw that I can be strong, and not to mention when the backing of her small dragons, even though small, she knew what they could be probably one day.
Right.
I think that was just like, you know, obviously, but again, we don't want to rehash too much of the past. So just going forward, and we'll talk to a few comments here. So she's playing the game. Davos upset he didn't get to kill Missandre, but again, you know, that was the breaks, bud. You know, you had your chance. So sorry about that. Creepy Bran continues to be elusive and creepy. I like calling him Creepy Bran because I know Appel kind of called him that in the text, and it's so fitting, to be honest. He just he's like on cloud nine, but he's going to come back into play here in just a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, right on. Tormund working on a solid hangover and eager to puke his guts out. That dude, I mean, yeah, just amazing. And then, so, okay, what I want to get to here is, so we got Brienne and Jaime and Tyrion and then Podrick over playing drinking games, which, by the way, was kind of interesting. We got a little comment that came up from Tyrion that kind of caught my attention. Have you ever slept with anyone? Period, pretty much. Are you a virgin? And you could tell from Brienne, I was like, oh, that's definitely...
Game over.
Yeah, game over. But as they're moving on, but Tormund's drunk ass gets back up there, and he's spouting and going on about this and that, and Danny sees all the people and how they just rush to Jon, and that close-up scene, I mean, tell me you didn't feel it when you're just like, oh, God, you know, this is going so bad.
And my wife actually caught something here that I didn't. Whenever Tormund was talking to Jon, he made a comment about you are a madman on the drag, like talking about him riding the dragon. You know,
right.
You're a madman. You're a king.
Yeah,
kind of like mad king. You know.
Well, that probably kind of resonated with her too, I imagine, as well, right?
Yeah.
So obviously that scene, that look, she could totally tell she's losing grip on some of her people. Not everybody, but I mean she can tell the North people and all that, they don't care about her.
And she sees how people are attracted to Jon. You know, like he just draws people in,
does.
That scares her for sure.
Easily. I mean, he does it without even trying. Well, I mean, he just does what he does. You know, she has to do all these things, but he's just like, I'm just gonna be a great leader and just call it a day.
And some of that comes out later when he's like, I don't want it. I don't want the throne. And she's like,
that's right.
You know, it doesn't matter what you want. It's what the people want for you and what they demand of you. Like,
that's right. Yeah.
So it's like, no matter what Jon wants, that's what the people want.
So since you hit that scene, we might as well talk it right now. So Jon, he fully admits to her. He goes, and he just doesn't want it. And they almost have an intimate scene, pardon me, and it just gets cut down. He can tell she's not in it. He's not in it. They're just kind of forcing it, and no pun intended. And and anyways, but basically they get into the conversation about the the kingdom or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, even though he's like, I don't want this and that, like you said, she's just about like, it doesn't matter what you want, it's this and that. But what I thought, what was really hidden on that scene was towards the end when basically she tells him, you need to keep this hidden forever. I mean, if you want to be my queen. And I'm just like, oh, so it's like that, And I mean, oh, it's just so bad. It's so bad. And even though he kind of admits his undying love and says, no, Sansa and Arya has to know, or have to know, pardon me, and everything will be fine. I love you. You're my queen. It's just all going to work out. And what does she do instead of just giving in and just being like, okay, we'll work this out? She just says, I told you how this can work. I'm just like, oh my God. And the look on John when he backed away from her.
But it's funny is she's kind of right, and we'll see it later as we talk. But like John's still very naive with kind of the political side of things. I would say, right? It's like
he's not a game player.
He thinks that he can tell Arya and Sansa the truth and still have this relationship with Dany, and everybody's all fine. But obviously that's not the case. And Dany knows.
Yeah. Dany definitely knows, and
nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, he does. He truly does know nothing, but he tries. Just real quick, just before this scene did go down, we also saw Gendry. I thought that was something. He confesses his undying love pretty much to Arya, and she's the one, and how that he's a lord and be his lady. And we all knew where this was going, but yeah, it kind of felt bad. I mean, talk about a total win and a total loss all in within an hour or so.
Right.
But yeah, so it looks like that will not come to be, as we saw her leaving out with the Hound, right? We saw him leaving out with Clegane to King's Landing. And then Jaime tracks down Brienne in a kind of catch and release. I don't even know what. But they pretty much finally end up getting each other. And I guess that's what they wanted. At least so we thought that's what they wanted.
In the moment, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So let me see here. Just moving along. So John wants to tell Sansa and Arya, right? He tries to console her, blah, blah, blah. We talked about that. We move past that scene and we get into the talks of battle strategy, right? And we won't spend too long on this, but we found out they lost about half the Unsullied and half the Northmen, right? Mm-hmm. So their armies are definitely seriously.
And did you see the Dothraki guy pulled away half of his tokens too? Did you see that?
That was weird.
I watched that twice, and it looked like he pulled away half of his forces too. Like
if you watched it twice,
Dothraki lost half, and I'm like, wait.
Does any of our viewers, maybe if you want to comment on that real quick, is that something we missed? Did you see the Dothraki captain do that? Because I totally missed it. I was probably writing notes like a total whatever, but I need them because there's just too much going on in these shows.
Yeah, I bet Stacy knows, but it looked like he swiped some tokens away, or like some
okay.
battle statues. I'm like, I thought all you guys were dead.
I mean, seriously, you guys lost your entire cavalry in the charge of the century, but totally bombed it, right? So their ultimate plan, is to starve the city, to try and starve them out, and to basically have them turn on their queen Cersei. And and that's not a terrible plan. You can totally tell Daenerys, she's just kind of, because the crowd is going with it, and you can tell she doesn't like sharing power or ideas. She's doing it to appease them, but you can totally tell she doesn't want to do it.
Oh yeah.
So we got that going for us.
You got Sansa stalling again, or like bringing some conflict in, and
that
was interesting to see Jon basically just say, no, we're going to do whatever she says. To think that Sansa's just going to be okay with that is, again, shows his how naive he is,
Yeah, totally naive, just no good. So, and again, showing that power hungriness that's just coming back, and I'd hope that she would become the queen that we all wanted to see her become, but it's just not going that route. But yeah, basically next scene we have Sansa and Arya talking to Jon, right, and basically saying we need a word, and let me see here, and there's basically no trust in Dany. We can totally tell that between the Stark sisters. And then Jon drops the big one. But then actually it wasn't Jon who dropped it. It was Bran who dropped it and told them that he is the true king. And I'm sure that was an interesting conversation, even though we didn't get to see all of it. I was just like, wow. Do you have anything else from any of those parts in there?
No, I think I was wondering if he was actually going to say it or not. I know he told Dany he had to tell him. And I thought he would, being Jon Snow. Like that's... He would do the honorable thing, but I was really wondering if he was actually going to tell him or not, and he did.
He did. I know. He was so on the fence on it about it too. Let me see here. What do we have to say? I just want to say the little comments here. Stacey's talking about John is being an idiot sometimes, though. He believes everybody and doesn't see Sansa for what she is. Interesting. The whole believing people are honorable stuff has got his dad and grandfather killed. I mean, that's true. I mean, that's what she has lived. That's all she understands and knows.
There are very few honorable people still alive in this show.
That is for sure. I mean, in fact, when he was leaving that morning and seeing the people that are going with him, I'm like, dude, you're in short company here with friends. You might want to watch out for those daggers coming back at you.
I mean, it sounds like we're losing all of the North folk and the Free folk too, right? From his conversation with Tormund, like they're moving back north.
The true Northern, yes, the true North. They're gone. And I guess they're taking the wolf with them. I guess
taking Ghost. Yeah, sounds like it.
So I guess they got that going. Let me see what else we have here. I thought they were all dead too. Let me see. I guess they're talking about
Dothraki.
The Dothraki. What did she say? Maybe since they had 100,000, they left a few sitting behind Winterfell. Jesus. Oh, that's good. Let's see here. Caesar, we got a prediction. Dany will go full Mad Queen and Jon will kill her and abolish the Iron Throne, finally freeing the North.
Interesting. I'd be down for that.
That'd be cool.
I just want a twist, like I'm ready for it. I'm ready, and we'll talk a little bit in this episode. There were some things that surprised me, but
okay.
I think there's still one big twist that not even involving Cersei. Bad. Cersei's going to have something up her sleeve still. I think there's going to be something there, but I still think there's a big, just something that's just going to blow our mind. That was like, wait, what? That's what I'm waiting for, and I may be disappointed, but. I hope that we see something.
Oh God, I'm totally with you on that, Dustin. I don't want to be disappointed like some of the other seasons and some of the writing when it was. I think some people were saying if you're expecting a big shebang for this ending, some people might be disappointed just because of some of the poor writing in the past. God, I just hope that's not true. Let me see here. What else do we have here? See.
Honorable people count too, Brienne and Jon. I know that's what I was thinking in my head.
I guess that's a pretty accurate count, no doubt. So let's just move forward here. So basically, Jaime's staying in Winterfell, at least for the moment. That's what we thought that was going to go down. He's talking with Tyrion when douchebag Bronn, and I do mean total full-on douchebag. I mean, this guy, I was like, after everything you've gone through, and this is what you're going to do? He pretty much negotiates for more. I mean, what were you feeling?
That is what he's about. I mean, I used to love Bronn, and he's another one of those characters. Like I said, like I loved him when he was with Tyrion. I really liked him when he was with Jaime last season. But
Agreed.
This is his nature. He is kind of that guy. Like he's he's always looking for the next big thing, and no matter who it hurts or what he has to do to get there. And actually, when this scene started. He made a comment about Jaime and Brienne. I thought it was Tormund at first.
Okay.
So I don't remember what he said. You finally did it. Or you finally did her. Something about him and Brienne. I thought it was Tormund coming in all pissed off because Jaime slept with her. And then I turned around and I saw it was Brienne. And I was like, okay.
When it's Bronn, I was just like, oh my God, this is so bad. And so either way. Yeah. So he basically negotiates for more, and Tyrion offers them Highgarden, which is considerably more, and he's even like, no, my fighting days are over. You guys just work this out, and I'll come find you when it's over. I'm just like, dude, you are asking to get killed off in an awful way, like so bad.
And I mean, how's Tyrion going to promise Highgarden? Like, how's he going to sell that to Dany?
Yeah. You know what? That look on Tyrion when he goes, I give you my word. I was like, dude, I totally feel the dagger coming out of your hand and into his, or the crossbow bolt from, Tyrion into his back.
Yeah. Oh, hey, here's this guy who shot a scorpion bolt at your dragon. We're going to give him Highgarden. How do you feel about that?
Wait. Oh, yeah. We almost murdered your dragon, which now your dragon is technically murdered. I'd be curious to know also some of our listeners who's in here tonight. What do you think about Bronn and the move he pulled on them? Let us know. We'll see what you have to say on that one. Stacey says, Bronn, well, he did make a deal with Tyrion about the double payment things, so I'm with him. They should have given him the twins, though. It's technically double the castles.
Hey, that's true. That is double.
That's true.
Bronn,
the
phrase don't need it anymore.
That's for sure. I don't even think you find anybody alive in that district anymore. Well, maybe a couple people. But yeah, so yeah, Brian, I'm sorry, man. I'm done with you. That was totally crap move. I'm done. So Arya catches up with the Hound, heading out to King's Landing. Interesting how they both said not planning on returning.
Right.
So, which knowing Clegane the Hound and what he's going to be facing, as in his Frankenstein brother, I could say that's a fair, probably assessment. He probably will not make it out that alive. And as Arya, she's obviously going to try and get as close to. I had this scene in my mind, and again, I don't want to spoil what could happen or this or that, but I got this scene in my mind of her taking Jaime's face and getting in there and having this kissing her and being like, and then suddenly just stabbing a dagger in her back or something.
I mean, they've kind of set that up with Jaime, like later in the episode, and I know we're kind of jumping ahead on that part, but he ends up heading back to King's Landing, and so I don't know, man. That's a possibility.
Things are gonna change, that's for sure. Let me see what else we got going. So hey, the two dragons were fully confirmed. I mean, right, for a moment, and. And let me see, how far is that down before? Well, I just got a few more things. We'll get back to those dragons. Let's just hold that thought for 1 second. I just want to talk about Sansa and Tyrion have one last talk. He's trying to convince. Tyrion's trying to do a lot of convincing in this episode to try and we'll get to Varys here in a minute. That's a whole nother conversation going on. But he just cannot convince people that she is good or that Dany is good, right? It seems like an uphill battle that he just has never won and will probably never win.
I wonder if it's almost like he's trying to convince himself still too.
I think he's not even sure anymore.
I think he just wants to believe it, and he kind of makes a comment later that sometimes you just have to pick somebody and
go
stick
with the
flow. Yeah, it's like God. I think he's trying to convince himself even more so than everyone else too.
And that's got to be tough, especially when you think of how much they've gone through just to get to this point. Let me see what else we got talking here.
Gotta love the Hound and Arya, but they predict their deaths? Yeah. It sounds like they may have, and I do like them too. And the little comment about you're gonna leave me to die again, and she goes probably. He just kind of laughs like that's a good. And I don't know if we skipped over this one or if it still didn't happen, but the Hound and Sansa. Yes. Their little conversation at the table.
Yes, we did skip.
I really liked that interaction.
She kind of broke his armor for half a second there.
Yeah, and it shows how much she's grown, even though she does some stupid shit sometimes, and I just can't stand it. But
beat her.
He made a comment. If you just would have come with me, none of that ever would have happened. And she's like, if I wouldn't have gone through that, then I'd still be a little bird. That was a cool scene. So it kind of shows hey. I've been through some stuff, and it's been really hard, but it's made me who I am, and that's why I am.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly subtle about how he brought in the talk about Ramsay. He's like, I hear he gave it to you hard. I'm like, well, God, let's just go ahead and get straight to it then.
I was like, oh man, okay.
Let's see what else we got. Maybe Arya returns to Braavos and becomes the head of the Faceless Men. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that the Hound will die and Arya will leave Westeros after all this shit is over. Could be.
Maybe Arya will realize that maybe she doesn't want to go live with Gendry in Storm's End. Become a lady.
Yeah, and true that. And I got to say to Jessica's comment there, why she would tell Tyrion. Yeah, so Sansa, let's not forget the whole big part of that conversation between Sansa and Tyrion. She friggin' told him. She told the biggest gossiper and whatever of Westeros. And you told him what was up when you swore to Jon. This is going to come back to bite her in the ass. I have no doubts.
So this is Littlefinger. This is him taking over her. This is what he would have done. So you're kind of seeing that. You're seeing that Littlefinger side coming out of her, and she's, it's with purpose. She thought through that and was like, if I tell Tyrion, this will happen and this will happen and this will happen. She's thinking ahead, and she has a purpose here. Trying to divide and get people behind Jon, but it's
Littlefinger lives on in different form, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Let me see here. So yeah, I mean, like Dustin was saying, Jessica, I mean, she did that tactfully so that basically it's going to disrupt things and it's going to make a big disruption. Why she'd put Jon in jeopardy of all that, that's another thing. But maybe she's not thinking. Although I think she's trying to play the game well, I think she's not as coordinated as Baelish was. You know what I mean? I don't think she's exactly thought about every little piece. So like he did. Sam and Jilly are pregnant again. Good for you, Sam. I guess he's going home. They didn't really say.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I didn't catch that either. I guess are they staying at Winterfell or are they going back to?
Well, unless yeah,
No.
that's true. Unless they were just saying goodbye, period. Which it's possible. I imagine there's nobody at his family home right now, so he's probably good to just go and take on House Tarly if he wants.
I know Dickon's not there anymore.
Yeah,
That's for
po Dickon, po Dickon. Let's see what we got here. What's OG saying here? I don't think she had any leverage until John and Bran shared that information. She clearly feels threatened by Dany
yeah.
and knows John is loyal. Absolutely.
Right
Totally
on.
agreed.
Totally agree with that too.
So moving on, I said an oh no. Varys and Tyrion are now oh, they both know about John, and so that's obviously not good. We were just talking about that a little bit, and I was saying that I also fear for Daenerys' state of mind. I mean, we were just talking about this in the comments with some of the others. I mean, we feel like she's going to La La Land in not a good way,
Yeah.
and we saw definitely what happened at the end of the episode, and we will get there soon enough, and it's not no bueno at all. And you know what? I kind of compared her a little bit. I wrote a note like Cersei, because I feel
Yep.
like Dany's at that point where now she is willing to pretty much do anything to achieve her ultimate goal, and that is not a good thing. That is not a good leader. And here you are back into just becoming the same tyrants you're trying to remove. And replace.
She mirrors Cersei a lot, and and we didn't even talk about the biggest part of the episode yet, but she had lost a dragon, one of her dragons, which is one of her children, and then I guess let's just jump into that. I mean, that shocked the hell out of me. So
We're pretty much there. So
they split their forces, right? You've got basically Dany and her forces. They went over to White Harbor and they were sailing down to Dragonstone, which is just east of King's Landing. So it's basically right there.
Yeah.
Good spot to prep and kind of strike off the sea. And then John and the Northmen were going down King's Road to King's Landing. So
sure.
You've got the group sailing, dragons flying overhead. I'm thinking it's just a setup, like they're just traveling,
just coasting, and that spear nails that thing almost lock and center heart. And
I didn't even. I had to do a double take. Like I kind of saw it, and then I was like, wait, what? And then you see the other one come through and like hit him in the head, and like just the blood.
One hit the chest, right? Another one nailed his wing pretty good, and then it's like almost instantaneously just through the neck, and I'm just like, ain't no coming back from that, guys. And as you saw, that dragon took a plummet to the ground. What a shame. These are amazing beasts, and animals, but clearly they're not invulnerable, right? They can be hurt, and they can be killed.
And that's huge. Like your whole threatening presence is really the dragons, right? You have about this equal number of forces, is what they made it sound like in the war room, right?
And the edge
they obviously have,
dragons.
they have a fortification, so you've got to break through that somehow. And you've got these two dragons. Well, now you have one, and I mean, I don't know. Dany kind of took a little charge at the ships afterward, but you think she's going to have to be pretty cautious now, right? Like
I mean, that was a bold move right there. She should have just totally. I mean, as much as she didn't want to. I mean, the fact that she even tried to go in is a miracle. She made it out of that. As so many bolts were flying by, I was like, "You're out of your mind." And I know you're angry, but this is about tactics now, and you are now down 2 dragons. The game changer. The game is now totally changing. And it's not favored to them.
Even if you do want to go in and just roast the city, like, do you really want to risk your last
dragon
child, your last dragon, to do that?
Because once she loses that, I'm pretty sure there's no more dragons, no more little eggs just hanging out there ready to hatch for the Targaryen queen, or at least what we thought should be the queen. Let's get back to the comments here for a hot second.
Yep.
Let's see here. What are we talking? Stacey's talking about the mom and sister are back still at the Tarly Hall, I guess. R.A.P. Dickon. It's gonna hurt John more than Sansa. From OG. Oh my God, I thought he was already dead. But how could she be such a bad dragon rider? She knew that they were not prepared, and now she's angry at her. Yeah, I know. I mean, just flying like on their open. Have we not learned any lessons from the previous battles that they've learned about the spear bolts, and that they can pretty much kill your dragons?
Yeah.
Damn. It's like, come on now. Let's see here. So she was.
Is there a possibility that Rhaegal survived? I really doubt it. I think they were conveying that he was dead.
Oh,
there.
Regal as in the one who got shot with all the
Oh yeah,
bullets.
yeah.
That dragon's toast, guys. Don't. Yeah, there's no way that thing's coming back up. Mm-mm. Just the hit alone to that water. I mean, should have been probably crushed half its skull. Let's see what else. You can't control three dragons at once. Yeah, see, and that's another thing too. Why in the hell? I mean, it's kind of like I kind of think of it as like a video game, right? When you're playing a game and you got the AI people kind of running around with you, and they're trying to do their best, right? But they don't really know what you're trying to do or your full objective. Well, and this is what they're programmed to do, and that's how I feel like the dragons were. They're programmed to kind of follow some commands or whatever. But other than that, they're just kind of doing their thing. It's not like being ridden by an actual rider, a dragon rider, and one who actually can now think for themselves. I mean, dragons are obviously smart, but they're more of the just burn everything and just get out of my way smart, and if I'm getting hurt, fly away and do whatever I can.
Well, John didn't want to ride him because he didn't want his extra weight to be a bother for him. His like 160 pounds.
Did he say that? Did he really
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My
He
God.
said so.
I totally
There was a
missed
scene
that.
with Tormund where he said, Tormund said, "I thought you'd be riding the dragon
Oh,
again," or
that's
something
right.
like that. And he goes, he's still hurt. He's trying to recover. I didn't want my weight to like mess with that or something." And Tormund gave some way to come back. That was
You put
funny.
a damn, I don't know, tank on top of that
Right,
dragon, it'd
yeah.
still be fine.
So they knew that people were going to be like, "Why wasn't John riding Rhaegal?" So they kind of put
Yeah,
a little line in there to say why.
that was kind of lame, but all the same, it's done. What's done is done. I love Stacey. He gone.
No.
Maybe Danny should have just flown the three dragons to kill. Wait, Kale? What's it? To right off the bat and roasted Cersei. Oh, just go straight up. Yeah, in hindsight, maybe she should have just gone with her plan. But then I guess the Night King would now have an extra 20,000 undead Northerners, at their call to pretty much attack. So, you do what you do. What do you see? Anything else there in the comments you want to hit on, Dustin?
I'm looking here. The preview for episode 5 seems to show Euron reacting to a dragon screech that doesn't sound like another dragon, perhaps a wild dragon. I didn't get that, and I don't know. Maybe I'll have to watch it again. I got what kind I took away from that was it looked like it was like cloudy or something. It was kind of masking
Couldn't see
visibility. They couldn't see, so maybe they're going to use some weather, and I don't know if that means. Is winter still approaching King's Landing? Is that kind of the roll in, and it's going to give them.
And let's not get sidetracked from what's going on because we got almost a page of stuff still to go through. But going back to it, feeling that we're kind of deprived a little bit of the winter is coming and everything. Yeah, the winter came and it kind of affected the north, but the southerners are still doing okay.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much to them, it's like nothing ever happened. And Missandei makes a great point. She's like. Well, excuse me. No, sorry. She didn't make a great point, but she was saying, once the people find out what they did for us, don't you think that'll change them? And it's like, no, they don't give a shit.
They're fine. They don't care at all. Paradise down there. I'll have some other thoughts at the end of the show.
Okay. Let's see here, Jessica. Yes, maybe in Dragon Bay still are some. Or the anger of Danny changed the dragon with a little. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know if there's going to be any more dragons involved in this. I mean, it'll be interesting if there was. I mean. All of a sudden, just a bunch of dragons come, and they're like, you killed our brothers and sisters, and we're just going to murder everybody. I don't know. We'll see what goes down. But, yeah, that dragon dropped like a bad habit, and Danny barely got out with her life. And
then they turned off those scorpions on the ships, and holy shit.
Decimated the friggin' Unsullied fleet,
yeah.
which, you know what? And again, I don't want to go off on these writers too much in this show because, again, what they're doing is miraculous, and the amount of money they have to work with, it's probably still amazing what they get done. Yeah. But it's like, you made it look like pretty much their entire fleet was destroyed, but then another scene later, you have a Grey Worm basically saying, we're ready to attack, and I saw like 12 guys coming ashore. Right. maybe another 100 in the bay trying to swim in. Did I miss something here? Where do all these magical troops just keep coming from? And I get it. How many extras can you get on screen? But you're trying to make us believe what's going on, so let's keep with it. That's all I'm saying. Let me see what else we got going on here. John's furs way more than John actually does. That was from Stacy. The Iron Fleet would have been gone. Oh, gee, let me see here. Danny and John are going to lose the Battle of King's Landing. Gio, I'm kind of with you on that one. I don't see a win coming here. And I know one thing, and when they talk bittersweet ending, they better not end it with Cersei on the throne, because that is gonna suck. That would really suck. I don't think they would do that. I don't think Martin would ever do that. But damn, the show. I don't know. They've done worse to us in the past. So Dany destroys King's Landing. Jaime kills Euron and gets fatally wounded. Jaime finds Cersei, and they die in the Red Keep as it crumbles and share one last kiss. That's from Arnold. Well, Arnold, that's an interesting one. I don't know if I really want to see a final kiss between those two as they bite it, especially since they're almost two of the most hated characters, at least have been in the past. Which, and mind you, are we seeing Jaime taking a 180 here for a hot second?
See, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't take that as Jaime was concerned for Cersei, or he was kind of turning back to her. I think he's doing something else. I don't know what exactly, but I took it as maybe he's going down to try to help.
Yeah, but help who though? I mean, I couldn't help.
I don't think he would help Cersei. I don't think he's, and he made a comment that he's a hateful person at the end, and that was his how he kind of left the end. But I don't know if that was maybe just him kind of feeling like he didn't deserve her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he still feels that connection to Cersei, and he is going to do something to help her. But I don't think so. I think
it's just amazing how much he's gone through to try, to finally find himself, and also to show that he could have love for somebody else. And then once you have that love, I mean, just by hearing a couple of comments about the updates in battle, you pretty much up and
right.
Peace out. That's interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure what to think about that from his character. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I just hope he's not running to her aid, which it doesn't sound like he would, but it's just weird. Victor here is talking about how come they're still counting the Dothrakis. Very good question. And I guess, Victor, if you saw what I think Dustin saw, was them moving pieces of the Dothrakis off the board, but yet they still had people. It's like, pretty sure I watched about, 10, 15,000 Dothraki horses just get slaughtered, right? And maybe there's an extra 1,000 in the back, like we were saying, or like our friend Stacy was saying, maybe in the back eating some KFC. Who knows what? Anything's possible in this world. Stacy saying, Cersei wins the throne and then dies in childbirth. Yeah, that would be fitting. I'm disappointed Bronn didn't betray Cersei. I know, Gio, totally agree. I'm like, come on, guy, you're just being a total D right now. And then let's see, he clearly likes the brothers more than her. Well, yeah, but he still wants his, and you can bet your ass
that comes first.
If they don't deliver, he will make good on his promise. He even said it. He goes, "My killing days aren't exactly in the past." And I was like, "You little shit."
It was interesting to see Jaime start to stand up there, and Bronn was like, not even on your best day, and those are long behind you.
Yeah, even when he had two hands or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a cocky little bastard, but totally in his character, so I can appreciate that. Cersei tells Euron she's pregnant with his child.
Yeah.
Okay, so deception?
I don't know. I still don't know where to.
Was she not pregnant in the first place?
Pregnant before, or was she not? Is she still not pregnant now? Is she pregnant and it really is Euron's, or is it she was pregnant and it's Jaime's? Like,
she plays such a mean game, and just thinking that I think there's certain things about Euron that maybe she kind of finds herself attracted to in some ways, but in the end, I think she just sees him as this little peon northerner that's, or not sure it's not northern, but anyways, you know what I'm saying. Basically, he's off to the side of the islands, and thanks for subscribing. I think it was Yassi. I just totally caught that on the side, but thanks for joining the show. And make sure, guys, if you're not subscribed to our ZMAM channel, make sure to join in. We're definitely going to hit up the last 2 episodes. We're talking an hour 20. This was I never realized how much conversation time made up an hour, in 15 hour and 20 minutes, because I had to keep looking at the counter. I was like, man, where are we at on time on this episode? And
I know.
I looked at one point thinking, I think it's almost over. I still had like 39 minutes left. I was like, holy crap. What? Obviously, there's still some craziness to be had. So we'll get back to the pregnant thing. But yeah, I mean, let us know in the comments. What do you think? Cersei pregnant with Euron? Pregnant with Jaime's? Not pregnant at all, just full of shit? I don't know. Some interesting stuff. So let me see here. Lord Varys pleads with Dany not to storm the city. She's on a path to destruction. So this is that meeting that they were kind of all had around the table, right? And you can, again, that power hungriness. It's just, you can just see it in her eyes, and she doesn't. And he, what does Tyrion basically say? At least offer one last,
Right.
point of surrender before you just go and destroy everybody. And
Yep.
she goes with it with, grinning and gritting teeth, I guess you should say. What do you think?
I mean, she goes with it because she's right. She's basically saying, then if I do have to kill them all, it's her fault. It's like
Yeah,
I'm giving
it's
her the chance to save them, and if she doesn't save them, then maybe I won't feel guilty about destroying everyone. That's what I took away from it. So
it's pretty
yeah,
smart when you think about. when she's, like you said, what
I mean, it's
making it her
ruthless.
fault.
It's
Yep,
ruthless, and I think that's what she's becoming. But yeah, I think she was on board with it because she knows that I'll still do what I need to do, and when I do it, I won't feel bad about it because she could have stopped it. So
absolutely. Let's see here. Stacey, she's got some good comments coming here tonight. So, oh my God, if Jamie were to go back to Cersei, someone needs to bitch slap him with his own golden hand. And you know what? I think he would definitely feel that, Stacey. Um, I'm gonna put some ha-ha-has in there. What else is going on here? So let's talk about it. So OG, let me see here. He gave them the heads up without killing them, so when he clearly had the chance to kill both right then and there. I'm not sure, OG, what you're talking about on that one.
he was talking about Braun.
Bronn.
Yeah,
It's Jamie's kid. She's passing it off as Euron's.
and
You know, it
I think that makes
seems.
the most sense, right? Like
I think so.
she's pregnant with Jamie's kid. That's the only reason she decided to bang him. But yeah, because that makes him think that
Well, right.
that's
I mean,
his kid and
she
he's
doesn't
invested.
want him. I mean, and
Right.
well, I don't even think she really wants Jamie anymore, too, especially after him leaving and pretty
Yeah.
much, betraying the family, like Tyrion now. So Yassi, you're the one who subscribed here. The characters were in very right path, and they were very well developed. But suddenly they seem so lost, sacrificing them for what, an unpredictable surprise? Question mark! Exclamation. Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. It's like everybody seemed like they knew where they were going. They knew what they set out to do, and now shit's just getting crazy.
Yeah.
It's like people are turning on each other. Let's see here. Should we really keep watching the show? It is rubbish now. Wow, Victor. I mean, but we're a little too close to the end. I mean, no offense, but it's too late.
Yeah, I'm writing it out. I
Yeah,
don't think it's rubbish. I think I've still enjoyed this season. I thought every episode's been pretty awesome, really. But
it has. Now I'm
I
gonna.
have my
Yeah.
I have my thoughts of what I would want to do and
Mm-hmm.
how I would write it.
Oh, trust me, dude. When we end the show, we're gonna have
Oh yeah,
friggin' pity patty whatever party just talking about everything they pretty much did wrong and how they should have gone about the writing. We'll get there, but we're not
but
there.
I'm still enjoying the story. Like
I am too.
it's because to be honest, I was pretty bummed after last week, and the White Walkers were destroyed,
Agreed.
and it's like what's the threat? But like I mean, this episode showed Cersei's still a threat, and
Absolutely. It's just not. It's a different. It's
it's a
back to
different
that
threat.
that truly medieval
Yeah.
political game threat, not mysterious entity in the north and who is this clown and what's he gonna do with all of us when we're dead and blah blah blah. So yeah, she's given one last surrender to Cersei, and then let's talk about Varys and Tyrion whispering in the shadows, as I call it,
And it
discussing.
really brought back memories of Littlefinger and Varys and the Red Keep.
Yeah, I mean, and Varys, he keeps talking about, I protect the people and this and that. And although I agree that, I'm just like, Varys, you are so. I mean, you're almost worse than the Kingslayer. I mean, you're pretty much willing to stab whoever to maneuver whatever you want to do. Oh, it's amazing. What do you
And
think?
he made that comment to Ned in the dungeons in the first season, if you remember.
Yeah,
He tried to get Ned to basically um, agree that he had committed treason and blah blah
uh-huh.
blah, and he's like, I do it for the realm, and like he brings that up. But yeah, man, he's
That's
like,
gonna bite him in the ass one day too.
yeah,
I mean, and the way they were talking so loud, I'm like, hey, you guys ever actually truly
right.
learned about whispering? I mean, good God. I mean, even the guards outside the hall are probably like, hey, man, these guys are about to get after it. Let's see here. What else we got talking here? Husky, really important. How would Tyrion know that Cersei is pregnant? It's definitely Jaime's child, and Tyrion did it on purpose to cause inner conflict. Well, How did so you're asking how did Tyrion know? Well, he figured it out that when he met with her,
Yeah.
and she made a comment, and I'm sorry I cannot tell you the comment verbatim, but she kind of, I don't remember if she looked down or something, but he looked down too. He's like, "Oh my God, you're pregnant." He knew his sister. He knows her style. He's been with her too long to not know when something's up, and he totally called it. So I do believe she is pregnant. But with whose, I would assume Jamie's. That would seem the safe bet. But again, sorry, I hit the mic. I think it seems almost too safe. But it would be a perfect play for Euron and pretty much getting him to do her bidding, and then she wipes his ass one way or another. We'll see. He's still got a decent army, though. So, again, from that scenes from the next episode, when we hear that screeching coming down, he's going to get his. I mean, Danny will not let that go unpunished. Absolutely not. Don't you worry. Tyrion,
We still have. God, I don't remember her name on the show. I always mix it up from the books. But is it Yara in the show?
Yara.
Greyjoy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We still have the Greyjoys too.
That's true.
At least her and what's left of
yeah.
the Iron Fleet. So
again, they don't make it look like much, but I'm sure she's going to magically come back with like a friggin'
like 5,000
8,000 ships. Like, well, we had a month and we got work done.
And they summon a Kraken or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, she did. Well, Cersei did talk about the Kraken of the sea, as in Euron. Basically, Geo says Tyrion was going to kill Varys to protect Dany. Well, I tell you what, that look that Tyrion gave Varys when he's just like, please don't. I mean, that was Tyrion's way of basically, I think, saying, you do this, and we're enemies now, for sure. Yeah. So, and Varys, all he could respond was pretty much what he does it for the realm, and I've said my piece. And you know what? I give him credit for at least speaking his mind, but oh boy. So we're going to see where that plays out. I think Varys has definitely made up his mind. I wrote to remove Dany from the throne if he can. And so we'll see what's up. We already skipped on this, but we're coming back to it. Brienne pleading to Jaime to stay. We already talked about all that. Okay. So now we're pretty much getting towards the very end here, guys. So let me make sure we didn't miss any comments here before we start getting into what I'm calling the showdown at the gates of King's Landing. So let me see here. Yes, he's mentioning, listen to Missandre's last word, Dracarys. Oh, yeah. So we'll get to that in just a hot second. You're being too polite with a destroyed show. Sorry, guys. Hey, Victor, you're totally welcome to your opinions, man. Absolutely. And, again, we all get certain enjoyment out, and because it's meeting certain expectations. Like Dustin and I, we're kind of, when we, I think, watch these shows, we get really immersed into it all. So it's like I'm letting things kind of slide by, because I know just from directing some short films and so forth, how hard it is for continuity and to keep everything in line and make everything make a perfect sense. I mean, Jesus, just go watch Avengers Endgame and tell me that didn't, amazing movie, but what a shit show of time travel. I mean,
I would have definitely done things differently with this season, but I'm still kind of waiting, because I have hope that something's going to happen. It'll kind of restore things for me, but I'm going to wait through the end. I'll watch it to the end, and then I'll have my thoughts on, what we would have done differently, or what I would have liked to see.
Call it FOMO if you want, fear of missing out. But I mean, I gotta know, and I put this back. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. Like, I do this with most films. Like, even when they make that sequel or that third one, you're just like, oh, why did you do it? I can't help it. I have to go see it, so I know what they tried to do, and did they accomplish, or did they just totally bomb the hell out of it? So again, and by the way, Victor, if you stop watching the show, if you want to come back out, and we'll tell you what's up. So, but so thanks for coming out all the same and joining in. We got somebody with, I can't tell the language, could be Indian, but saying the episode was whack and that all characters have become mediocre and hateful. Well, again, guys, we're seeing how the game has finally come back to us, and maybe this is unfortunately what people didn't enjoy as much in previous seasons. Maybe you don't really like the political medieval game, but it's back, and it's showing what it does to people, and it turns them so quickly. I mean, it's like a friggin' plague. It's an epidemic. They can't help it.
And I think it's been a theme through the show. It's like, this is inevitable. Yes. I feel like this type of game, and I mean, that's the name of the show. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Take the purest-hearted, most noble person, and it's never going to go the way you think. And
except for John. John has always stayed true. Which, by the way, I like that, because he is pretty much our only moral compass, if you will. I mean, if this was Walking Dead, he would have been killed off. I mean, truly killed off. episodes ago. But I like seeing him true, and I think that's why a lot of us try to side with John, because he's that
Yeah.
one feel good thing. You're like, oh, just don't lose this, right?
But even John, like if it wasn't for being brought back, he was killed by his own by his
So,
own Night's Watch. So
for
like
decisions he made, which right or wrong, but I mean, I'm not defending
for
what,
honorable, and then they were honorable decisions, and they were, I think, the right ones. But it's like
right.
that's the thing with the show is
No good deed
if you're
goes
honest and
unpunished.
noble, yeah, you're just gonna get screwed over by somebody who's not. And it's like
Totally.
that's what it is.
Husky, so Euron is a smart guy. The relationship between him and Cersei is only for the purpose of using each other. So once Euron puts two and two together, from what Tyrion said, he's going to turn on Cersei. You know what? And I know Cersei better be careful, because Euron, you may think he's a
Yeah.
dum-dum. He's not stupid. He is not stupid. Euron only wants to have a kid with Cersei, and once he finds out it's not his kid, he's going to turn on her. I know, and I was wondering if that was going to kind of play in
Yeah.
when Tyrion. So let's we're going to take a sidestep, and let's talk about the showdown at the gates. So we got Qyburn coming out from Cersei's side. We got Tyrion coming from we'll call it our side. Team Danny, right, or Team John, whatever. And Missandei's life in the balance as she stands. As soon as I saw her up, I'm like, oh God, this is so bad. This is so bad. And I'm just saying, Tyrion is one brave ass man, because he's talking to Qyburn, and Qyburn, he's just you just want to strangle that dude. Do you know what I mean?
He's gonna get it. Like I don't know who's gonna do him in, but somebody's going to.
I can just see the dragon catching him off guard somewhere, and he's
Yeah.
just like, beautiful, and it just burns his ass or something. God, that guy has to go so bad. But basically, he makes the point: I am just what does he say? The vocalizer for the queen, or whatever.
I speak for the queen.
I speak for the queen. But when Tyrion walked up there and all those arrows were on him, and it got to that point, I was like, are they gonna release those arrows?
Oh, dude, I was thinking the same thing.
I
Like,
thought they might.
surely not, but who? I mean, I don't know. They might.
But he pleads with his sister, and he just says, please. And and Cersei puts her hand down, and she doesn't release the arrows. But even after that conversation and all said and done, we got looks back and forth of this and that, which, by the way, can Cersei even see Dany from there and her true facial expressions? I mean, I think you need some binoculars, probably, like, hold on. Oh, yeah, she looks pissed. Tell you what, let's execute her friend. Let's do it. But, spoiler alert, Missandei, and you know what? I thought they were just going to push her off. She had the friggin' mountain cleave her head off. I mean... Wow.
I thought. I don't know. It would have been kind of surprising, but I was like, is she gonna grab Cersei and just jump? She had her hands chained, but like she could have easily turned and grabbed her and just jumped off. And like that's what I thought when she said, "Do you have any last words?" I thought she was just going to do something crazy and like grab her and jump over the side and kill them both.
That would be crazy. But I think a lot of people have been like, no. It's got to be Arya. It's got to be so and so. But yeah, you wonder why she couldn't have just tried to pull a fast one. But that wasn't also Missandei's style. I don't think. I mean, she wasn't. It's not like she was a warrior. She was just a simple. Once slave, just trying to make her way, and she finally found love. It was a tragic ending for her, for sure. And again, not like she's one of my favorite characters, but I was just like, wow, that's. And when when her body dropped off there like that, and Grey Worm just turned around, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is gonna send her. I mean, you just pushed her. You ultimately just pushed Daenerys.
Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge.
I'm gonna read a couple comments here as we jump back in here real quick. So, Victor's saying I'll come back with the Lord of Rings series. Really hope they do not destroy it. I fully agreed. I'm definitely going to be doing Lord of the Rings. Dustin, I don't know if you're going to jump in on that one, but
yep. Yeah, I'll be in on that.
I think we should definitely review those in the future. Stacy's saying that's GRRM's writing. Nothing is as it seems, and I fully agree, and that's why I feel there's still another secret here, another shebang.
I know,
Dustin's
man.
saying, God, there better be, because if not, we're going to be let down totally. John turned to Bran to reveal the secret to the sisters. That was really funny. He's going to tell Dany, I kept my promise. Bran told everyone. I mean,
That's good.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. I didn't say it.
I didn't do it. That was Dustin. Stacy says, everybody has a different point of view on the decisions you make. Some people agree. Some don't on the show. The ones who disagree murder your ass. Yeah, this is pretty much true. And then Sunday is a pacifist. Well, I mean, she really was, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. And then Victor, would you guys like D&D to take over the Lord of the Rings series? I don't know if they're actually writing for that series right now. I know they're doing a Star Wars thing. Victor, maybe you can shed some light on that because I forgot actually who was writing for the Lord of the Rings series. So let us know in the comments while we get ready to finish up here. So yeah, I think we're going to see a totally different Dany moving forward. We saw scenes. We saw Tyrion kind of walking into what room was that with the dragon on the wall and stuff. I mean,
That was a Dragonstone.
Was that Dragonstone? Okay.
It was like the war room at Dragonstone. Yeah.
God, I bet he's going in there just kind of looking for Dany, and she's just going to be this mad crazy. She's done. I think that move right there, all the reasoning, all Jon's sweet words, which clearly weren't doing shit this episode, by the way. And don't even talk about when she finds out that the secret's out. Oh, I could see her even trying to pull something. And you want to talk about tragic and bittersweet if those two actually fight it out. If Jon and her fight, which, I mean, obviously she's not a warrior, so if they fought hand to hand, he would definitely kill her. But honestly, even if she wanted him dead, I think Jon would let her plant the knife into his heart. I think he would. Which seems stupid as all hell, but I think he would do it.
I'm excited that they didn't show much for the next episode, which I really liked because
what did they show? What was that? Maybe a third? That wasn't even a minute.
It was small.
30 seconds.
Very small.
The scenes were totally non-telling. I gotta love these YouTube. I mean, we're out here. We try to produce the best content we can. And bring actually good material. These people go out there and they're like, episode 5 breakdown. I'm like, breakdown of what? You got 4 scenes of like 3 clips.
We're gonna break down this 30 seconds.
And then you go out there and they got like 2 million views. I'm like, and here we're struggling to get like 2,000 views.
Yeah.
So with that said, I want to thank all those that have come out tonight to actually listen in and watch, and a couple people from last week, and we're loving that. Unfortunately, our counter's not working tonight. This software, I'm going to do a review on this Streamlabs OBS. That's what we're using to stream. And again, I don't want to get off a tangent. I want to talk a few last things on theories, but unfortunately, we can't tell how many people we have tonight. But last week we had upwards 100 or more, so that was really cool. And so thanks for all the comments and you guys coming back to it. Victor's asking, do you expect there to be another big war? Well, I mean, other than the war that's going to go down between Cersei and Daenerys' crew, and Jon's crew, whatever you want to call it, I think that's about it. I'm waiting for some kind of secret thing, like everything's all said and done, and somehow the Night King is respawned. You know what I mean? Through somebody, through something, and how that would all work, I have no idea.
Are we? I guess we're kind of into our thoughts, right?
Yeah, let's try. Oh, here, quick number on the episode. You want to get a quick number?
Yeah. So I give this one. I think I was about an 8 on this one.
And I think I'm going to fall around there too. I was thinking 7, 5, 8. Yeah, whatever. 7.
I'm a fan of the small character interactions, like the little moments that are just kind of, I don't know. Those are cool to me, and I enjoyed them.
It definitely builds on the story and also your understanding of their motives, and also if you truly like these characters or not, and if you care when they die.
I enjoyed it. It was a good show.
Very good. Let's see here. So let's talk a little maybe predictions and what's to come here.
Yeah, and I'm not even concerned about the War for the Throne. I know that's kind of the point of the show, but
I know
my focus is still on the White Walkers, and they make you think that things are wrapped up there.
Yeah.
I don't get that still. It's
is it misdirection somehow? But I don't really see.
I hope so. I hope it's misdirection. But from my perspective, it's the first men battled the White Walkers, right? And they defeated them.
Right.
And that was the story that was told for thousands of years.
They never said if they killed them. They just said they drove the darkness back. Which
what does that mean?
We did. We're like, what? He just decided to tuck tail and run for now?
Right, and hid for thousands of years. Like, what is? I don't understand that. So, what motivated him to come back out and move his forces down? So, when I think if the first men defeated the White Walkers, then to me that means they killed them all, or why else would they be up there for so long and never come back? So there has to be something there, kind of explaining that. So to me, it's like there's something else. There's something else there, because if they were defeated before, why are they back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Back. I don't know. part of me wants it to be some sort of surprise where it's like you have to have you have to have somebody kind of take up that mantle, and maybe you have your wits about you for a certain number of years and you can kind of control it. So you do move back and you kind of bring winter back to the north and leave it there. And after a while, though, you just kind of lose yourself and you turn into something else, and then that's when you come back down. I don't know.
Well, like in most shows, it always seems like a balance of good and evil, light and dark, Star Wars and all that. And I'm not saying that this show has to follow that formula, but it really does make sense. And for just one to totally take over and that just be the end of it, that's kind of a pretty brutal ending. Like, I don't want to just see all the good people win, and I don't want to really see all the bad people just win. There has to be some kind of like, damn, that this was at a cost, right?
Yeah.
This was done because of such and such. We got some comments kind of flowing in through here. Let's see here. I want to talk about Geo. At the end of episode 5, Danny kills Jon for telling his sisters. Episode 6, it's the North rebelling against Danny. Arya kills Dan. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Rebelling against Danny. Arya kills Danny and says the North remembers. I like it. Let's see what else we got here. Mountain versus Hound. It's coming. Get ready. Is that sturdy?
Yeah, we're definitely going to see that.
Yeah, don't you worry. Right there. What else we got here? We got Jessica thinking this is a 7. We got Victor thinking it's a 6.5. I know we got some other people watching. If you are, what did you think about the episode? Not necessarily our episode. You can rate that too. But we're talking about GOT. What did you think about tonight's episode, and where would you give that 1 to 10?
I give us a 3. I give the show an 8.
I give us at least the 7.3. You forgot the 7. You know, you got to get that 7 in front of there. We got solid content here, Dustin. So let me see here. What else we got here?
Jessica says the scale is out of balance. Balance will come back someday. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yes.
Maybe that's the Star Wars nerd in me, but like I feel like there has to be a balance, right? Of all the supernatural stuff, like it's happening for a reason, and there has to be
absolutely
some order to it.
That doesn't just go away. I mean, again, you don't fight you don't wait all these years, have these guys come down and defeat them in a night. I'm sorry, I don't care how calculated and how planned you are. And mind you, I can be bought into some of the idea that they knew they were coming. It was kind of a choke point where the dead would meet onto the living, and they were kind of ready for it all. And plus, they had dragons. Okay, so they were prepared, yes. But to defeat them all just like that, damn, that is some hell coincidence. My cousin Kathy just kind of tossed in here. They reminded us of Jon Snow's resurrection from the dead. Something's up with that. Also, I think Jaime will kill Cersei. So, the resurrection of Jon, it's kind of interesting how they kind of did bring that back in. I mean, I think that was just Tormund actually just talking out of his ass a bit. But all the same, again, a small hint of something behind there. Anyways, I'm still reeling off that scene between Bran and the Night King when they were just looking at each other. And although a slowed down, slow motion scene, that was a hell of a moment between the two of them. They had almost like a pause, like the Night King, like, I'm gonna kill you now because I have to, but almost like I almost maybe wouldn't if I didn't have to. And it's just weird.
Something weird. Yeah.
Something weird. Anyways, we'll see where it goes down. Thoughts. First, Aegon Targaryen creates the Iron Throne, and Jon, Aegon Snow, realizes nobody should rule everyone and destroys it. Caesar, agreed. Yeah, I think that'd be a pretty interesting thing to dissolve it. I mean, there's been many, dictatorships that have been destroyed over the years. I think I just go back to Rome and, all the things they went back and forth, and they never really got it right, and in the end, they destroyed themselves. But it could be, I mean, maybe they should just be ruled, kingdom to kingdom for the different out of the 7. Sturdy, do you think the person that trained Arya will come back to kill her? I think so. Those guys don't forget. And Dustin, what was his name? The guy who trained her?
Jaqen H'ghar.
Okay, no wonder I forget it.
Can't believe you don't remember that.
I mean, I should have had
pretty common name.
I mean, I was going to name my son that, but Mason sounded a little bit easier. So, yeah, I mean, they don't forget. And there's some talk about behind it. Go up and look up some fan theories about Lord Baelish, Littlefinger, and you might see some interesting things about. And I still
hope that comes into play. So the video is by a guy named Neo, I think, Neo, talking about his theory on Littlefinger and why he thinks he's still alive. But it was very interesting, and it kind of hits on the faceless people.
Yes, it does.
So, yeah, check that out if you haven't seen it.
Oh, I gotta get this guy. I love his name, Armando. Armando, Arya kills Cersei by using a mask, cuts her throat. Absolutely. I mean, I'm thinking Jamie, and just go ahead and knock it out right there. But you know what, Armando? I'm almost wondering, is that too safe of writing? I mean, we all know that Cersei's been on Arya's list forever. So my question is, do the writers play it safe and give us what we all expect, or do they do totally something different and shock us up a little bit and be like, hey, I know you wanted this, but this is the way it went down. I mean, obviously it can go either way. I'm not fully convinced. I'm not convinced about anything. I mean, Jesus, guys, we could go on for theories for hours, but nothing is as it seems, and I hope that plays out true. I'm going to say it again. I know, Dustin, you fully agree. If we do not get hit with something at the end where it's just like, what? And because that's what I want to feel really at the end. I want closure, but I don't want that full closure. You know, like I was watching Star Wars Return of the Jedi with my kids earlier, and although someone made a comment about Return of the Jedi and how I didn't want to see the Ewoks, you know, dance around, everybody happy. But you know what? When I was watching it with my boys and stuff, and truly coming full circle, me from seeing this when I was a kid all the way to now as a grown up and with my boys, and I'm just seeing it all doing, and I'm seeing Han hug Lando and everybody's. It was a great scene when you really think about it. I mean, it was that feel-good moment. We all wanted closure for Star Wars, at least at the time, because we didn't know the prequels and all the other bullshit was going to come down the way. But the point being is that felt right for Star Wars. That kind of ending does not feel right for Game of Thrones.
Exactly. I saw a comment in here. Let me find it again. Oh, it's from Caesar. Weird Lord of the Rings savior is Aragorn, and Game of Thrones is Aegon. So
yeah,
if you couldn't tell, Martin takes a lot of
from
his
Tolkien.
Influences from Tolkien, and it's not just names. It's like the story in general. The whole, you know, you've got this burden that you have to kind of deal with, like John does. You've got even John's best friend. What's his name? Sam.
Oh, Sam.
It's like, yeah, you know, you've got a lot of.
Oh shit! Samwise Gamgee, Samwell Tarly. I mean, every time I hear Sam, I immediately think of Samwise. I'm sorry, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I'm just like, wow, why do I feel this is almost an exact taking from Tolkien's works? Which, mind you,
he's very influenced by Tolkien. A lot of fantasy authors or anything you see. Like,
we all steal with pride, and you know this annoyed the shit out of me the other day. Somebody commented on my Dead Nightmare works. He said, "Yeah, like Walking Dead." Oh, I'm sorry, guy, but Walking Dead doesn't have the freaking zombie market under lock, key, and you know whatever else. I mean, we are allowed to actually express ourselves in other videos and so forth. And just because I have some people walking around in the forest with that doesn't mean it's Walking Dead. Sorry, just throwing that out there. Check out our Dead Nightmare series, zombie series. It's pretty legit. We have fun with it, and I think you guys might like it too. But yeah, as for that commenter, piss off. I almost want to kind of wrap it up, but I know comments are still kind of popping in, so we'll hit up a few more before we jump out here. Did you guys watch, this is Victor, did you guys watch the episode in a completely dark room just in case it was way too dark? Oh. You know, I got.
Luckily, this episode was a little brighter.
Yeah, it was a lot brighter. And you know what? I don't understand what people were talking about. So I have PlayStation View, and I was watching off the streaming service of HBO because I watched it about 30 minutes to almost an hour later. Thus why we're on a little bit later. And you know, I could see what I needed to see, and for what I didn't see, I was fine with, because the battlefield was meant to be chaotic, and you're not supposed to understand every little bit going on. I think a lot of people are really having a hard time understanding that. Battles and scenes like that, you're not meant to see every single thing, and especially when the storm came in, they did that, guys, specifically so you could feel what the warriors were feeling on the battlefield. They couldn't see shit, and we could barely see shit. Now, again, if you're just like, no, I couldn't see anything, period, I did hear about a couple different streaming services where literally it was completely dark, but again, I didn't get to visually see what they were looking at, so, and I'm just like, turn up the brightness on your TV. I mean, this just seems a little weird. I don't know. So Dustin, I don't know what you feel about the darkness and all the problems they had on the previous episode.
Yeah, I was fine with it too. I think some of the battle tactics were more the kind of my concern. I think they did it to get cool cinematic shots, really. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was fine with the frantic pacing, the dark scenes. Like, yeah, I agree. They're trying to put you in the shoes of those soldiers and kind of what they're feeling and what they're up against. And
absolutely. Yazzie, John Resurrection. When Night King died, just like a vicious popsicle, That's a good one. A simple villain. I found out the prophecies and purposes are so lost in the script. It's all for the throne. I know, and that's what we're not going to go on a tirade on it for again, but just saying that we still feel, I think a lot of us cheated. And I'd like to know even from like Stacy, which I know she's super heavy into the Game of Thrones like lore in the books. I mean, Jesus, she could tell you things. She wrote us an excerpt, and I was just like, where did she get all this? It was amazing. It's not a making fun of. It's just, it was amazing how much knowledge she had. But I want to know from a few other people, if you could comment for me while we're talking about this. Do you feel cheated when it comes to the Night King? And if the story literally ends out, if all goes well, or not well for that matter, Cersei and them battle it out, the last person gets on the throne, and maybe there's a couple little backstabbings, but in the end, a person ends up on the throne, and that's pretty much how they end it. Are you going to feel cheated that the Night King and his undead army is somehow not brought back into play, or maybe the prophecy kind of reignites and somebody goes to take his future place or some shit? I mean, or, we talk about Azor Ahai, right? And how he stabbed his woman pretty much that he loved, right? To create that sword. I mean, does Dany kill Jon, and Jon becomes that martyred soul that becomes the Night King to one day face her in the future? I'm just spitballing here, but I mean, it's something weird, crazy has to happen. That's what I'm saying.
Or I feel like it could be something they leave for the prequel series that they're working on, which would kind of suck because I want to see it now, but they may hint at it and then kind of bring up more details in the prequels. I don't know, but I just don't feel like that's done. I don't feel like it's finished.
Amardo says, yeah, it was just too fast. Caesar says, agreed. Stacy, excerpt, novel, same thing. Well, hell, even if you copied it from there, because I've never read the book, so literally you could be spotting gospel for that, I know. But yeah, I think, let me see here. Victor saying theories do not mean anything anymore, and that's true. Oh, and that's true. I know, Victor. We're totally just shooting the shit just because we can. I mean, we're already over by about 30 minutes, but we have fun with you guys. So, as long as you guys are having fun, we're having fun. So why not? But let me see here. Other than that, yeah, I didn't see anything from the scenes from the next episode that are super telling, other than I feel Euron is going to get it bad somehow. We have 2 episodes left, hour 20 each. I mean, that's a lot of material. I mean, especially if you're talking about just interactions. So we know at least a battle's going to go down. So what? Episode 5, main battle, and episode 6 is the aftermath and the last minute backstabbings or whatever. Is that enough time?
I feel like episode 6 has to resolve Bran a little bit. Like, we have to get something on Bran. Like we can't leave the series with him just kind of being weird and having secret meetings and secret conversations with people and not knowing.
I need a vision of him finding something or something. Yeah. It has to be a flashback. It has to explain something. And if they leave him just totally unanswered, just creepy Bran, just kind of being quiet, and he sees some of the past, and he was able to find out Jon was. Don't tell me that was his only purpose. It's not enough. And if they miss out on that writing piece, shame on them. That's all I'm going to say. Actually, that's not all I'm going to say. I'm going to say some more. But Stacy cheated. Maybe not cheated, but I think why dwell on the story so much if it doesn't matter at all? I don't feel like it's totally finished. True that. And we do still have 2 hours and 40 minutes, which, mind you, is almost the entire length of Avengers Endgame and had a lot of material in there. So hopefully they're going to start really pacing some things. I think that's why they were saying goodbye to Sam and saying goodbye. They're tying up those stories so they can just get down to the people that matter, or unforeseen people that may matter. Little finger. No, I know, Dustin. We're stuck on this little finger thing. It's so stupid.
Stacy's gonna punch me, I think, if I keep saying it.
I know. The White Walkers stood there and watched the Night King shatter into pieces. You had one job.
You had one job.
I know, right? Like, they weren't. And see, that's their problem. They're so gosh dang cocky. It's kind of like, we got this under wraps. You didn't see the little ninja masked.
It's like, bro, did you hear something back there?
Well, and right.
I heard. Oh, shit.
There was that wind that went past the one, right? And he was just like, sorry guys, I'm sorry, I hit the mic. He was just kind of like, hey Jim, you see that? Nah.
Oh man, I didn't see anything.
I'm good. Sorry guys. The scene was again, we're all looking back at it. It was a great scene, but it's so comical when you think about some of the things that went down.
Yeah.
And again, I hope that doesn't mean it's poor writing. I think that goes back to Victor's point a little bit, but they're doing what they can, guys. I mean, George, if he can finish his books, God rest, before he passes on, because let's just face it, the man's not in the best of shape. But and he's got a lot to do. I mean, Jesus, people have been waiting 8+ years for this last novel to come out. It's not looking good. So I really hope he's prepping somebody to say, "Hey, please, if something happens to me, finish my legacy and make this come true."
Yeah, he's not exactly an example of model health either.
No,
look at the guy. So
you're not going to see him on a stairmaster. You're not going to see him on a stairmaster. See here. Stacy, if the Night King is dead and the dragons all have to die, the direwolves have to die, no magic can be left. That's the other alternate ending for me, which sucks because, I mean, dragons. And giant puppies. Giant puppies. Armando, I thought Cersei was going to attack the last dragon with all the big bows. You know what? I mean, they kind of did. Oh, I see. You mean when at the gate. Yes.
I mean, would have been a good opportunity, I would say, for her.
I mean, when she killed Masandi, why not? I mean, you've pretty much given her your answer.
Exactly. And maybe they start firing right after that. Who knows what happens, right?
Tell me this doesn't remind you a little bit of Gladiator. Well, they fight, sir. And all of a sudden, you see the horse, and they say no. I mean, pretty much that's what it was. I mean, a beheading, and sending the body back, except sending it back was just tossing her off the side. What else we got here? We got Yassi saying, don't get me wrong. I like the fact that Arya killed the Night King. I think she was not a revenge-driven character anymore. She's not repeating her list since she returned to Winterfell. She decided to spin. Oh, well, anyways, I agree, but there's obviously still people she wants to see gone. But true, there was a few. Even Beric, I think, was kind of on her list because what'd she tell him? You were there for a while, right? Mm-hmm. But seeing him all tore up, man, he looked tore up, didn't he? At the beginning of the episode, when God, that dude got it so bad. But
that was great makeup work.
Great makeup work.
Beric for sure, because he just looked like he had been stabbed a million times, which he had. So good job.
All the bodies really looked dead, and I thought that was amazing. And even the effects, I don't know if they did a full double of Jorah when they did the fire scene, because they could have did that with effects, but I think that might actually just been a double. Prosthetics and makeup and everything else. Mr. Stacy, I'll find you at your desk tomorrow. You may want to call at HR.
She's gonna punch me for my little finger theory.
Well, I mean, you got to get after it sometimes.
Hey, I'm holding on to that one, man. I'm not gonna let go until the end.
It's little finger, interesting. It is so interesting.
It's one of my favorite characters. So,
we should really stop. What does he say? Expecting something wise. Expecting something wise. Well, that's for sure. Any chance of Bran walking into the mountain? It would be amazing. Who was that who said that? Russell? Yeah, that would be freaking awesome. Just going to say. Caesar.
Just start wiping people out. Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, Cersei would be like, stop, Frankenmonster, stop. What else we got here? Would have been so funny and subvert our expectations by having Miss Missandei dragging Cersei off the wall.
Yeah. Oh, man, I thought she was going to for a second. That would have been awesome.
Dustin was thinking the same thing for sure. See what else we got here. What else? Got a message from Victor. Oh, hold on. The Power of Stark. We didn't see you on here earlier. Welcome to the show. Did you catch the next season scenes at the end? Yes, we did. Where we hear the dragon shriek and you're around looking up surprised and worried. What's your take on that? Okay, so listen. Somebody mentioned a little bit earlier, and I'm sorry, I can't tell you whose name it was, so apologies on that one. If you are, you can make sure you put in the comments. Dino Dustin was mentioning that he feels it's just maybe a cloud of cover, like the long dragging clouds, and maybe it's Daenerys and she's going to come in and rip them a new a-hole. However, somebody else earlier mentioned that maybe it's a rogue dragon or something like that, which the chances of it all, I don't know how that could be possible, that just suddenly they just come out of hiding. Because other than that, there's nothing else that would have made that noise, and no other mysterious, or mystical, I should say, creature in this universe that's just going to come out. I mean...
Yeah, I took it as maybe it's Dany getting wise to kind of what the Night King did, right? Like use some sort of cover and plan your strategy with the weather, and get some cloud cover or something, and surprise the fleet and come in on.
And correct me if you guys if you don't agree, but I see Dany kind of as this kind of again, not spoiled in the beginning. I mean, if anything, she was totally mistreated, and if anything, we should have been totally on her side. But it's like when she got those dragons, I feel kind of like this spoiled little kid who got these amazing powers or amazing something that they could use, and she took them for granted. You know what I mean? And because parading them around like that, and fear by seeing them and everything else, I feel this is totally just shooting herself in the foot. That's what I'm trying to say. I think she's totally screwed herself on this one, and they're gone. I just can't keep believing these how much growth and what these things had become, and they're just gone like a snap. That when he got nailed in the head or the throat,
brutal.
Oh, brutal! That poor thing. I felt bad. I mean, maybe I would have felt bad for the thousands he would have burned to a crispy fire rage. But you see any comments you want to comment on, Dustin?
I'm looking through here now.
I know there's a lot going on here. Victor, thanks for joining in, guy. We're gonna finish it up here in just a minute too. So thanks for coming out. Make sure to subscribe. And I'm gonna try and schedule this. We're gonna try and hit 10:30 next week. It seems 10 o'clock seems to be a little aggressive with trying to get this stupid software up in the way we want it. So make sure you guys come back out 10:30 Central Standard Time. We're here in St. Louis, Missouri. So make sure you come back out to visit us. Thank you so much.
I think that's all I've got for tonight, unless you see some other comments.
I was just going to say, Gio, she looked like a spoiled little kid at the end on the episode on the way she was standing there. I mean, if you're talking about the end of this episode, I think we're past the spoiled. I think we're just in the
enraged.
Enraged. Absolutely. I was going to say the same word. She is enraged to the fullest, and she is going to want. And you know what? God, how are you going to feel if she goes in and just starts burning that city to the ground? Well, what do you think? Do you feel merited? I mean, you got to think about all those people inside, which, some are assholes and they just want to, hey, down with whoever. And you got the other half like, I don't give a care. As long as there's food on my table and you're leaving me alone, I'm good. I mean, it could be people just like us, just chilling, just living their lives. And they don't understand all the politics and things going on. How do you feel when she burns thousands just like that?
Yeah.
Anyways,
she becomes a monster. Yeah.
She becomes a monster. She becomes her father, and it comes full circle. Which I always like to say that it comes full circle. It's the circle of life, Dustin. It's the Lion King.
Anyways,
Cersei says Dustin looks tired.
You are correct.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
Very observant of you. Yeah. Who's my favorite character? If you can't tell by my theories, Littlefinger is my favorite character.
Yeah. Mine. Oh God, I don't want to be that traditional douche, but I mean, I love John. He's just because I feel like I connect with that kind of character. Hey, what you gonna do? But when it comes to other characters, though, God, there's just so many great ones. But John, I do feel pretty solid on. There's so many good ones.
Well, it's funny for me. I love Littlefinger, but I also like Ned, who are like stark opposites.
I know, and
I really like Ned's character, but I just love the chaos that Littlefinger.
I like
Ned. He was so good.
It's a shame we only had him around for a short time, and didn't see him get resurrected at the at the pedal. And see here, we'll just answer a couple last ones here. And the wildfire on the center of the city, I'm see here. I don't think you have to worry about the wildfire anymore. I think she literally used all of it. And they don't have enough time to make more. So I think they're just down to dragon bolts or spear bolts and just, man-to-man armies just kind of going at it. Which they still, Daenerys still has to break through the front gates. I mean, those walls aren't exactly small. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to do this battle. I think Stacey mentioned
maybe they find some elephants.
I hear elephants are in high demand this time of year, especially in winter coming.
Maybe,
guys, if you didn't catch that, we're just playing off Cersei's engrossment over elephants. I don't think that's the word, but either way, she wanted some elephants. That's what we're gonna get down to, and I don't think she got it. Oh, and speaking of, okay, I'm sorry, we're not gonna get into tangent, but Golden Company, question, where are they hiding? Are they just behind the walls? Did we see them kind of making maneuvers down there when she was talking to Euron?
I don't know that I noticed any Golden Company.
No, so
they weren't on Euron's ships, were they? That was his.
Oh, well, his originally coming over, but
right, but not when they ambushed the other fleet, right? That was all Euron's crew, I think. Yeah.
It was, and I think if I was the Golden Company commander, there's no way I would leave my men on those ships just out in the harbors like that. I mean, they're definitely on land. I was kind of worried that they were just going to kind of show up at the end there while Daenerys was trying to make her, because it seems like Cersei's just kind of like checkmate, you know, make your move or something, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. Okay, so okay, guys. So with that said, I think we're gonna start wrapping it up here. You heard our scores. It was a pretty solid episode. It was a lot of character development. I would not call this episode a filler episode by any means. I think there were things that went down that had to go down, and there's no other way possible. Otherwise, you're just literally jumping from battle to battle, and I'm sorry, I don't think anybody really wants to see that. You're just skipping out on too much material.
Yeah.
So I guess with that said, Dustin, you got anything left for these crazy cats out here?
Nope, I'm spent.
He's spent, and I think we're spent too. So, guys, thanks again for coming out to join us. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, or at least like the video. It shows other people that it's worth watching. Make sure you make some extra comments. We're going to be back out. I like to do movie reviews every so often. We also have my zombie series out there, which Dustin is an actor in, Dead Nightmare. If you have not checked it out, you may want to go out. I promise you, if you stick with the story, we're getting better. Obviously, this is one of the first truly short films I had ever done, and it ended up turning into a series. We have more coming your way. It just takes a while because it's more of a hobby, but I hope you guys get a chance to check it out. And so with that said, this is the ZMAM channel. I am Mike Schilling.
I am Dustin Shelton.
I was like,
zoning out.
I was like, and cue Dustin. And
hey, it's me.
And we will see you at the next Game of Thrones review.
Later, guys.